Hello, my name is Abigail, and on this channel I talk about books and things that I'm passionate about, and right now that happens to be putting out a video every single day in the month of October for a grand total of 31 videos in 31 days. And today I have decided let's go ahead and start this vlog. And for this vlog, I'm going to be walking while listening to The Long Walk, followed by going to see The Long Walk in theaters. Let's go. Here's what I know about The Long Walk. It's by Stephen King. If I'm not mistaken, we also have a situation where they are basically told that if they don't walk, they'll die. So let's see how it goes. Hi, cow. I completed my walk and I did about half an hour, which was exactly what I was intending to do. I figure half an hour every day is really reasonable and it's an obtainable goal. So, okay, I'm a little sweaty. I can't wait to shower. I should not have done this in my work clothes, but this is walk number 1 done. I am back inside from my walk, and first of all, I want to take a nice big sip of water because even though I was only outside for 30 minutes, I do live in Florida. So let me start the process of rehydrating. What I should have done was bring water, but I didn't think about it because I was like, it's only 30 minutes, it's fine. It was not fine. I didn't die, obviously, but several people in the long walk have. So let's start with, oh, by the way, this is going to be completely spoilery. So if you have any interest in reading The Long Walk or watching The Long Walk, probably would do so before this video. So Grandy is our main character. I don't have the physical book in front of me because I don't own it yet. I am doing this on audio because it makes the most sense to me. So our main character, he has done all the research for this walk and he knows what he's doing. He's like, rule number 13, conserve energy when you can. Don't wear sneakers. Make sure you get these specific socks because they're recommended. Here comes the general, all this stuff. So he obviously knows what he's talking about. Well, the other guys, I'm not sure that they do because one of them was wearing sneakers and a couple of people have already been killed. So I think we're on 3 of 100 down, and I have 1 out of, well, let's see. Let's think about this logically. I listen on 2.5 to 3 times speed, depending on the speed of the narrator. I don't handle slow reading well, so I typically tend to lean on the higher end of that, typically closer to 3 times speed. So with that in mind, this book is, I believe it's like about 10 hours and just over 10 hours, I believe, and I already have probably like 9-ish left. It says right now that I have 3 hours on my current listening speed left, so I've listened to, did I really get, well, I guess so. I listened for about 45 minutes because I didn't count the introduction towards my walk just because I didn't feel right. So I listened to about 30-ish minutes of the book, which is about an hour and a half, and like the 15-minute introduction I listened to before I went walking. But that is walk number 1, and if I'm correct, then I have about 6 more to go. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to cut that down to 4. So I bet I can do 1 walk before I go to the walk. So that's 5. I need to cut it down to 5. So I will probably have to extend each walk just a little bit because I do want to finish the entire book before I go to see the movie. So who would like to hear a funny story? I started this and walked one day. So I've been walking around my house cleaning and listening for a little bit. So I've got about a third left to go. So I'm about to walk for real so that we can actually do this and well, hopefully finish this because I'm actually running late for these videos. So let's go. Side note, it's actually, this movie's out of theaters. So if I want to watch this, I now have to pay $20 to rent it or $25 to own it for my iPad. So that's cool. Personally, I don't see how you can call this book good, but I mean, it was good. Like, it's terrible, terrifying, horrible, but it was a good book. So anyways, on to the next part of this vlog. Well, I just finished the movie and I hated the ending a lot. I hated it. I'm gonna go put my clothes away now that I was folding while watching it. Okay. As you may have guessed, I had to take the evening. We're about 24 hours removed from me sobbing at the end of this movie. So I read the first like 40, 50-ish pages the first day, and then in order to finish the goal, I finished the rest of it in 2 days. And the movie is no longer in theaters. Well, it's in theaters, but I'm not going to the city at 11 o'clock, or I'm not driving home from the city at 11 o'clock at night to watch a movie, and it was playing only at like 9:30. And I am a geriatric old elder millennial. My bedtime is 8:30. Okay. I'm actually technically up past my bedtime right now. Okay. I'm not going to the movie theater at 9:30, and I'm damn sure not leaving it at 11:30. So I rented it on Amazon Prime, and I'm grateful I didn't buy it because I never will ever watch this movie again. I sobbed. I fucking full on like sobbed at this movie. And the book wasn't even really that sad. I think it's because, I was expecting one thing and I got the opposite. So obviously, spoilers for The Long Walk. So I'm gonna put the book down. Maybe. I don't know. I'll hold my hand up. Okay. I'm gonna hold my hand up. When I put my hand down, it is now safe to unmute. Okay. So, and this is spoilers for both the book and the movie. The book ends with Garrity being the final, like the winner, and in the movie it is Pete. And as the two boys in the movie were like attempting to sacrifice himself for each other, I was just fucking sobbing. I was like, couldn't catch my breath, full body sobs. And I don't know why. I think it's because I was really expecting Garrity to win. And it's like, either way, whether Garrity won or Pete won, it was going to be fucking horrific and terrible. But I don't really know what to say other than, like, what the fuck? Like, this book did damage to me. But it was really the story. Like, the book didn't hurt me, but the movie did. I don't know. Go read it and watch it if you haven't already. So I was just telling those who stuck around for the spoilers, go read it and watch it if you haven't already. Now, I'm going to do like non-spoilery comparisons. So obviously you may have picked up that the ending was not what I was expecting. There's a couple other differences. Stephen King, we know he's like super into like weird sex stuff. So I was pleasantly surprised when that stayed within this book. I enjoyed it a lot better with hardly a mention of sex in the movie. And I think that that's a really good place to land. Now, there's like maybe like 5 big key differences. In this, they have to keep a pace of 4 miles per hour. In the movie, it is 3 miles per hour. And that is sufficiently more doable. And obviously, like I said, we removed the sex portion of it and the ending was different. But the other key difference to me was that we halved the number of participants and we also increased the age. So the age of the boys in the book was like, I think under 18. Most of them were somewhere between 15 and 18. And in the movie, they were all 18 or older, except for, I believe, one. And yeah, this one is set up more like there's 100 total walkers, and in the movie itself there are 50, meant to represent one for each of the 50 states. Now, something that I really enjoyed about this was that my husband watched the movie with me, and he has not read the book. So I'm sure you can imagine if you are a reader and your partner is not, when you sit there and go, that's different, that didn't happen there, that's not part of the book, your partner was like, can you kindly shut the fuck up? I tried to keep the that's not right to a minimum, but the one thing I did really enjoy is that in the foreword of this book, they talk about, well, Stephen King mentions how this was written before Hunger Games. This is like before the dystopian, before the sacrificing of children for the common good, the main, whatever, like the Hunger Games-esque of it all. And my husband goes, was this written before or after Hunger Games? And I was like, I'm so glad you asked. It was published in 1979. And so I got to share a little bit of that with my husband, which I found really, really cool, because Stephen King, you can say what you want about Stephen King. He introduces weird sex shit with kids. Okay, that's like knock number 1 against you. Knock number 2 against you, your books are like, some of them are really long, and you describe things so well that it's like reading an entire page to learn that the street was decrepit. You know what I'm saying? Like, knock number 2. But Stephen King writes a damn good story. Whether you can look past the 75 paragraph description of a decrepit town or a, shitty town or whatever, Stephen King writes a phenomenal story. And it does not hurt that I did spend about 18 months in Maine. So as I was reading and as I was watching and they were talking about places, I recognized the names of the places. I also drove past Stephen King's house, at least the really famous one. He probably doesn't live there anymore because, people were really driving past his house. It was like touristy kind of thing. I accidentally drove past it. Maine is a big place, but it's also like there's a couple main roads. And if you're on a main road, it's going to lead to another main road. And that's kind of how I ended up by his house. But I'm fairly certain he does not live there anymore, because I think they moved somewhere else because that house was obvious. I could be totally wrong here. Getting back to the point here, Stephen King writes a damn good story. This book was a 4-star, but the movie broke my soul. Will I be picking up more of Stephen King's writing? Yes, I have already read Salem's Lot, Pet Sematary, Carrie, It. I started The Stand. I've read like a couple of his more recent works, and then this one is obviously like a Richard Bachman, but it's Stephen King. So I will continue to read Stephen King at my leisure. I was originally going to try for like one a month, and I was going to try and read them in publication order. And I started that back in 2018 and quickly realized that that actually doesn't work for me. I think that it's good in theory, but I am more of a, if the time works out for me, if the mood strikes, if it tickles my fancy. So I will continue to read Stephen King on my own time. I'm glad I did this. It was a good time. It was a sad time. It was a bad time. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was The Long Walk by Stephen King. And with that, I will see you tomorrow.